The morning is bright and calm. Not a cloud blots the blueness of the sky. Following the landlord's advice, I walk toward the town. I cross the road that runs parallel to the ocean and within a minute come to the Venetian Waterways, a man-made winding pleasure canal, complete with thatched shelters and sculptured bridges, that roves for a mile through sunken ornamental gardens. Initially built by a relief scheme to put people to work after the First World War, this attraction once saw holidaymakers charmed by the enchantment of another time, gliding along in electric-propelled boats. However, the precipitous decline of the British seaside in the 1960s brought all this to an end. Abandoned, overgrown, and eventually drained, the canal soon closed. But, as I am to discover in various corners of Great Yarmouth, there are determined efforts to revive what has almost been lost. As a result, thanks to the British Heritage Lottery, as well as to a community of volunteers, this particular feature has recently been restored. Its muck, cracked cement channels, rubbish, and neglected gardens are no more. Indeed, just 3 months before my arrival, this entertainment had reopened to an enthusiastic fanfare. Nevertheless, on this cold autumn day, the Venetian fantasy appears still and empty, a phantom. The gay chattering and giggles of a holiday have long disappeared into the silence of a departed season. All that remains is the occasional dog walker strolling by its muted waters. It is a relief to turn my eyes away from this artificial construction and gaze toward the endless gesturing of a rhythmic sea where the morning mist rests on the horizon and displays a purple glow. I step onto the blown dunes and into the natural wilderness of isolated sands stretching along the shore. Clusters of scattered beach grass that occasionally shelter the nests of water birds scrape my boots. As I make my way, my footprints join those left by the unseen feet of earlier walkers. Will any of these linger to be discovered in centuries to come? After several minutes, I reach the edge of the lonely sea itself. The morning tide is on its way out, leaving delicate trails of white lace as well as swirling arcs of foam that embroider the soaked, cracked sand. Scattered wet pebbles caught by the sun's rays cast miniature shadows. In the distance, 2 fishermen set up their long poles that lean toward the sea. They are the only people around. Following a map the landlord has given me, I walk along the deserted sands and head toward the center of Yarmouth's holiday seafront. After approaching a closed, brightly painted snack bar that instructs those who pass to eat, drink, and relax, I reach an empty promenade lined with padlocked beach huts and solitary mounted telescopes that for £1 invite one to search for what cannot be seen by the naked eye. Nearby on the shore stands a vacant, boarded-up hut announcing, "Parker's Donkey World, helmets available." A sign warns, donkeys may bite. Parents, please supervise children around the donkeys. A blurred 1940s photograph of a toddler taking such a ride flashes into memory, and so too, strange to say, does an almost forgotten 1930s brightly coloured, naughty seaside postcard showing a very fat woman precariously mounted on an unhappy donkey that wishes to be rid of her. For a lark, later in Yarmouth's Time and Tide Museum, I poke my head through a reproduction of such a card and ask a visitor to take my picture. The resulting photo displays my smiling face atop a plump body, barely squeezed into a pillar-box red-striped bathing suit. The figure's wide thighs straddle a donkey. None of the vivacity, raciness, or variety show bawdiness of the 1930s postcard, however, is at play, for the museum, in the spirit of political correctness, has arranged the prop so as not to offend. No bulging derriere of the woman on the postcard is on view for all to behold and admire. Once, one of the mischievous pleasures of going to the seaside was to browse through these bawdy cards displayed on racks outside newsagents and gift shops lining a promenade. Now they are the provenance of collectors. Few, if any, beach venues sell them. Indeed, so popular were these that in the early 1940s, George Orwell wrote an essay, The Art of Donald McGill, celebrating their appealing vitality, momentarily forgiving as well as pandering to the prejudices and racism of the time. Orwell thought these cheeky greetings a harmless rebellion against virtue. Most featured overbearing women, according to Orwell, with bottoms like Hottentots, henpecked husbands, and low sexual jokes. They presumed that there is no such thing as a happy marriage, that wives over 25 are invariably ugly, and that husbands incurably lust after young, willing, and bosomy women. One typical card reads, Judge, questioning a satisfied-looking, smiling husband in the presence of a large, bosomed, flirtatious young blonde, obviously not his wife. You are prevaricating, sir. Did you or did you not sleep with this woman? The man responds, Not a wink, my lord. These saucy words are reminders that seaside resorts are often regarded as permissive spaces that release one from the restrictions of home. In the 19th century novel, for example, authors such as Jane Austen, Charles Dickens, and Elizabeth Gaskell occasionally sent their characters to the seashore in order to deliver them from the constraints of their life elsewhere.